Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Jai Hind to all. I, Manisha Luthra, on behalf of Swami Vivekananda Subhati University, would like to welcome you all to the guest lecture on Religion, Not the Crying Need of India by Padmashri Pratibha Prahlad ji. Before starting the event, let us have a brief of the university. Swami Vivekananda Subhati University is a university under Section 2F of the University Grant Commission UGC Act 1956, set up under the Swami Vivekananda Subhati Vishwavidyalaya, Uttar Pradesh Adhiniyam 2008. The university has been established under the aegis of Mahayana Theravada Vajrayana Buddhist Religion and Charitable Trust, Meerut, which has acquired a commendable record of service in the field of education, healthcare, and social welfare. The main campus of the university is in the National Capital Region, strategically situated on the National Highway 58, Delhi Bypass Road, Meerut. The campus, aptly called Subhatipuram, is spread over a sprawling area of about 250 acres of land, comprising magnificent buildings, lush green lawns, and vibrant surroundings with over 5,000 people dedicated to make the university a magnum opus in the world. The university has several constituent colleges which provide higher education in mostly all the disciplines like medical, dental, nursing, physiotherapy, paramedical, pharmacy, naturopathy, yogic sciences, engineering, management, law, journalism, education, library, arts and sciences, hotel management, faculty of science, Buddhist studies, etc., is engaged by design to create academically and technically proficient professionals. The university has been awarded the membership of Association of Indian Universities in 2013, All India Conference of Intellectuals and Schools of Educators, has conferred Outstanding University of Year 2013 and 14 to the university for its outstanding contribution in the field of education, science, healthcare, national integration, social empowerment, and preservation of cultural heritage. The university has also started a number of courses through the distance or education, approved by the Distance Education Bureau of UGC, formerly by a joint committee of UGC, AICTE, DEC. The university has been accorded grade A by National Assessment and Accreditation Council in 2016. Now, let's have an idea about the organizing college, that is Swami Samrat Ashok Subhati School of Buddhist Studies. The Samrat Ashok Subhati School of Buddhist Studies is an international Buddhist college established by Swami Vivekananda Subhati University, Meerut, India, as its constituent college by the initiation of Dr. Shalya Raj, Chief Executive Officer of Swami Vivekananda Subhati University, an academician and social activist, along with Dr. Hiro Hito, founding director of Samrat Ashok Subhati School of Buddhist Studies, whose inspiration led to the founding of Samrat Ashok Subhati School of Buddhist Studies, a world-class center of Buddhist learning. Their brilliant thoughts were responded to beyond expectation by Buddhist delegates from 13 countries who participated in the pre-inaugural SASSBS conference at university campus. At this historic meeting on 10th March 2018, the Samrat Ashok Subhati School of Buddhist Studies was founded in principles, and it was decided to formally inaugurate the SASSBS in the Vesak month of 2018. It marked the event first event in the history of district Meerut when Buddhists nearly all sects in the Buddhist represented and gathered for the same purpose, the progress of Buddhist studies. On this historical occasion, about 130 Buddhist monks, scholars, and teachers from 13 countries paid homage to Bodhi tree, which has been found in Swami Vivekananda Subharti University campus near Samrat Ashok Subharti School of Buddhist Studies. The age of this tree has been confirmed to about 115 years by local horticulture authorities in the year 2018. Historically, Meerut has been under vast influence of Buddhist culture since 3rd century BC, as there existed an Ashokan pillar in Meerut in those times, which was later relocated to Delhi by Emperor Firoz Shah Tughlaq. The Sultan is said to have learnt about this Ashokan pillar existing in Meerut in the 14th century, and he got it transported to Delhi. Some historians are of the opinion that this magnificent structure was built by the Mauryan Empire Emperor Ashoka in the 3rd century, and this is perhaps how it derives its name. Now, uh, let me give you the brief of the Thagat Buddha chair. The Thagat Buddha chair was established in the year 2019 under the specialized guidance of Dr. Shalya Raj, who is the Chief Executive Officer, Swami Vivekananda Subharti University. The chair serving as the center of learning and research not only on the subject concerned to the Thagat Buddha and his philosophies, but also on the issues concerning the socio-economic, cultural, religious life, peace, meditation, yoga, etc. In pursuance of its objective, the chair is undertaking research on the topics related to the Thagat Buddha. The chair time to time also organizing teaching, seminars, symposia, workshops, exhibition, lecture series, and other similar academic activities. Now, our guest speaker is Padmashri Pratibha Prahlad ji. She is a Padmashri awardee, preeminent dancer, choreographer, educator, author, speaker, arts administrator, and a cultural visionary. She has more than 500 performances in India and over 80 countries. She has curated the Hampi National Tourism Festival in 1995 as a cultural multiplier as well. She pioneered India's most prestigious art festival, that is Delhi International Art Festival, where she gave a new dimension to India's culture. Madam has also introduced many new spaces for cultural performances. She worked to collaborate several international festivals, foreign ministries of culture, embassies, cultural centers, and art producers with DIAF. She served with distinction on several prestigious government committees, such as the Charge of Hanover Expo year 2000 by the Union Ministry of Commerce. She served in the Executive Board of Sangeet Natak Academy from the year 1998 to year 2004 as well. She was in the jury of National Film Awards and Dada Sahab Phalke Award year 2011 and 14. She designed the opening and closing ceremonies of Commonwealth Games 2010 as the convener of Cultural Committee. She also designed the syllabus dance for NCERT and the master degrees of MHRD. Madam has also conferred the Padam Shri in year 2016 and Sangeet Natak Academy Award in the year 2001. She has received the highest Karnataka State Government Rajyotsav Award in the year 2001 and Karnataka Kalasari in 1997. She is the only artist of her generation on an Indian My Stamp of Rupee 5 released by the Department of Post and Telegraphs. Presently, she is working in the field of arts and social and cultural empowerment as the founder chairperson of non-profit Prasiddha Foundation and Forum for Art Beyond Borders and the artistic director of Prasiddha Dance Repertory. Please, ma'am, hand over to you.
Namaskar.
Namaste, ma'am.
Can you hear me properly? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are very audible to me.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. I'm very honored to be invited to deliver the Tathagat Chair lecture on Swami Vivekananda at the Vivekananda Subharti University. I thank your board members, your committee members, your deans, and particularly Dr. Hirohito for this invitation. Um, Today's lecture is going to be on Vivekananda's historic lecture at the World Parliament of Religions in Chicago 128 years ago, I think, in 1893, where he spoke about religion not being the crying need in India. Over a century ago, and long before communication technology promoted the idea of a global village, um, in this land of ours, our motherland, Bharat, uh, we presented to the world a truly global citizen, a true crusader of Hindu Dharma in Swami Vivekananda. He is an extraordinary intellectual, and to be able to speak about him and give you a few glimpses of his, path-breaking and historic lecture is indeed a great honor for me. Thank you so much for that. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is something that you must have all heard ever so often, and something that you keep hearing all the time. What does Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam mean? It means that the whole world is one family, and it's a concept derived from our scriptures. We've had this belief that, from 5,000 odd years ago, that everyone's happiness would indeed ensure our happiness. It is only now, during the pandemic, did parts of the world, primarily the advanced Western world, realize this to be true, that no one was safe until everybody was safe. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. What does this, Shanti mantra mean? It means may all be happy. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha. May all be happy. Sarve santu niramayaha. May all be free of illness. Sarve bhadrani pashyantu. May all see what is auspicious. May there be auspiciousness everywhere in the world. Ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. May nobody suffer from illness or unhappiness. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Lokakshema is something I'm not sure students are familiar with. What is Lokakshema? Lokakshema is a Sanskrit word which means global well being. Loka means world, and Kshema means well being, welfare. Swami Vivekananda declared then, I'm talking about 128 years ago, that man's quest for peace would remain incomplete so long as the West failed to acknowledge the spiritual and civilizational advances made by India and blend all these ideas of advancement and progress into a spiritual quest for the well being of all. Swami Vivekananda was one of the greatest, like I said, thought leaders of our country. His vision for the country included cutting through social hierarchies, hierarchies of race, caste, subcaste, religion, meaningless rituals, language, to pursue a path of societal integration, of national integration, with spirituality and everyone's welfare at the core. He innately knew that India was the spiritual leader of the world. Arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is reached. This Upanishadic shloka, popularized by Swami Vivekananda, must serve as an inspiration to every Indian, particularly the youth of today, all of you students, to build a new India through motivation, education, and dedication. Swami Vivekananda once told a group of journalists at the University of Michigan, this is your century now, 128 years ago, but the 21st century belongs to India. He said then, just look at him, he was a visionary thought leader who told a group of journalists in the University of Michigan, this may be your century now, but the 21st century is India's century. I will restrict my lecture today to this ever famous lecture delivered at the Chicago World Parliament of Religions in 1893, where a sadhu, a monk from India, told the world that religion was not the crying need of India. Through this lecture, not only did Swami Vivekananda introduce Hinduism to the world in a language understood by them, but he also spoke in no uncertain terms that fanaticism and proselytizing one's religion should be condemned, and there should be religious tolerance and mutual respect. I quote Swami Vivekananda: I am proud to belong to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and universal acceptance. We believe not only in universal toleration, but we accept all religions as true. These were his words when he gave that lecture. Let me quote you a Sanskrit shloka which adheres to this concept of belonging to a religion which has taught the world both tolerance and acceptance. Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. He informed the world that he was proud to belong to a religion that has sheltered and is still focusing and fostering the remnants of the grand Zoroastrian nation. We know that Jews were persecuted all over the world by Roman Catholics and others, and India was a refuge for them. Swamiji told the world through this that the intolerance, their intolerance, the other religious intolerance, their hatred towards sects that do not follow their faith, and their brutality and their fanaticism of what religions? Of Christianity and Islam divide the world, while our dharma, Hindu dharma, Sanatana dharma, united the world through peace, understanding, and compassion. The shloka I just recited to you, Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu. Let everything be peaceful everywhere. Sarvesham, everywhere. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace everywhere. Sarvesham is everywhere. That is the operative word. May peace prevail everywhere. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Let everything be complete, because he said disrespecting somebody else's religion is to actually make them feel that they are not complete, that their religion is not good enough. But the fact of the matter is that all people's religions, whatever the religions be, their faiths, are okay in its own way, in its own manner. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavat. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let everything remain auspicious. When someone says, let everything remain auspicious, what that means is, let there be no hatred, let there be no misdirection, let there be no violence, let there be no brutality, let there be no fanaticism. Let us accept everyone as an equal. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let there be peace, peace, and peace everywhere. Um, in his words, in Swami Vivekananda's words, as different streams having their sources in different paths, which men take through different tendencies, various though they appear, crooked or straight, all lead to thee, all lead to the Supreme Lord. This is a hymn from our scriptures that he recited while giving his famous lecture on religion in Chicago. And it's also recited every day by millions of Hindus. Om Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditu Mastuma, Vidvishavahai, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavat. May we all live together in peace, in tolerance, in humanity, in compassion. Om Sahanau Bhunattu. May we be nourished by the universe together. This universe, this beautiful universe, Mother Earth, is for all of us. May we partake in the goodness of this beautiful universe, this Mother Earth, and may we be nourished by it together as a whole humanity. May we work together with great valor and strength. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Why does he say that? You cannot be passive in life and expect the world to do good by you. You have to be active. You have to be courageous. You have to be brave. You have to have strength in your own belief systems, in your own values, and your spirituality. So he says, may we work together with great valor and strength. May our study be vigorous and effective. You can't just work together with valor and strength if you don't have the knowledge of the systems, of the scriptures, of life, of the meaning, of the many different things that we are learning every day. Tejasvinavaditumastuma vidvishavahai. May we study with vigor and effectiveness, and may we not have mutual hate and dispute. May we not have mutual hate. Let us not hate each other. Let us not dispute each other. But let us study of our scriptures, of our sciences, of our arts, of our humanitarian studies, of our religious studies. Let us study with vigor and effectiveness. May we not have hate and disrespect or dispute amongst ourselves. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Let peace prevail, let peace prevail, let peace prevail. He said, while addressing the Chicago conference, the present convention, he said, at that convention, 125 odd, 128 years ago, is itself a vindication. That convention was itself a vindication, a declaration to the world of the wonderful doctrine preached in the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita, as you know, is a spiritual text where, you know, Lord Krishna comes in front of Arjuna in the form of Lord, of God, and tells him and gives him the tenets of life, of relationships, of existence itself, and what you mean to existence, and what existence, ecology, environment, animals, plants, birds, all of humanity, all different people who practice so many different religions, how to live together in a holistic and peaceful manner. That is what the Gita, talks about finally. So in the Gita, Krishna says, whosoever comes to me, through whatever form. So whichever form, it's immaterial, whether you're animal, whether you're bird, whether you're insect, whether you're, whatever the form, your form be. Whosoever comes to me, through whatever form, I reach him. The Supreme God is saying, I reach him. That object, that animal, that bird, that insect, maybe that human. When he says him, he also means um, striling also, which along with pulling there was also striling. So I reach him, her. All men are struggling through paths which in the end lead to me. This is what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. He says, whosoever comes to me through whatever form, I reach him. All men are struggling through paths which in the end lead to me. Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, when he was giving the Upadesha in the Bhagavad Gita, he, like I said, recognized that people are going through so much conflict, so much difficulty, so many challenges in their everyday life. And he said, whosoever comes to me through whatever path, in whatever form, with whatever difficulty, all men, all women are struggling, I will accept them and they will finally reach me. quote. This is from the speech of Swami Vivekananda. I open quote. Sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendant, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. They have filled the earth with violence, drenched it often with human blood, destroyed civilizations, and sent whole nations to despair. I'm not going to say the entire speech. I'm sure you will read it. I'm just uh, quoting the relevant parts. I hope the bell will toll tomorrow morning to bring a death knell to this fanaticism, he said wisely and bravely in front of the World Parliament of Religion, predominantly Christian and Islam, predominantly Christian and maybe some Islam. But look at a Hindu monk, a sadhu from India, telling the World Parliament of Religions sectarianism, bigotry, and its horrible descendant, fanaticism, have long possessed this beautiful earth. They have filled the earth with violence, drenched it often with human blood, destroyed civilizations, and sent whole nations to despair. Even today, we are watching these horrific scenes that come out of Afghanistan, drenched in blood, militant groups, sword wielding, gun wielding, AK-47 wielding, going through the streets of Kandahar, Kabul, and other cities of Afghanistan, taking over the government politics by force, drenching people in blood, putting fear in them. What is religion at the end of the day? Religion is the opium of the masses. You must have heard this. It's a very famous quote. It says, religion is the opium of the masses. Those whose minds are shut, who have who are not enlightened, who do not have education to back them or back their theories or thoughts or ideas, resort to religion because religion has forever been one of the most you know um effective weapons of control. Remember, through religion, people try to control your mind. And that is why education is so important because when you get education and the right kind of education, and you read the right kind of books, and you see the right kind of philosophies, your mind opens up and you're able to discriminate between right and wrong. Whatever the religion says, whatever the person who's trying to preach you says, and your mind will not be controlled by any religious authority. And that is what is so, so important. And that is why education is so important. Swami Vivekananda, when he spoke of religion not being the crying need of India, he meant that India was already far superior spiritually and considered humanity as a whole. India did not need lessons in religion from Christianity or Islam because India had Hinduism, and Hinduism or Buddhism are far superior religions because they teach you religious tolerance, they teach you humanity, they teach you how to live with ecology, environment, in a friendly, peaceful uh, manner where everything is valued, everybody is valued. When I say thing, I don't mean riches. When I say thing, I mean a plant, a shrub, forests, animals, birds, everything is valued. We value our water, we value our air, we value everything. It is this massive, rapid industrialization and greed and wanting more and more and more, much more than you need, which has destroyed our environment and ecology. So when Vivekananda spoke to the World Parliament of Religions, he said, religion is not the crying need of India because India has a far superior religion and it's spiritually stronger. And Hinduism is not fanatic and nor is it proselytizing. You know that. Hinduism does not proselytize. It is just a way of life. It's accepting of all streams of faith, all ways of worship, all ways of life and livelihoods, converging in the universal knowledge and acceptance that the world is whole and that the world is complete in itself. This acceptance is what makes for the spiritual strength of Hinduism. The shloka says, Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. What does that mean? Om Purnamidam. Om, the world is complete. Purnamidam, this is complete. Purnamadam, that is also complete. Hinduism is complete, Buddhism is complete, Christianity is complete, Islam is complete. So, Purnamadam, we accept that as Hindus, as Sanatana Dharmis. Om Purnamadam, Purnamidam, Purnamadam, Purnat Purnamudachate. Everything in this universe is whole, it's complete. Purnat Purnamudachate. Purnasya Purnamadaya, from something that is beautiful, whole, complete, if we just take a portion out of it, a small little portion out of it, Purnasya Purnamadaya, we take a small little portion out of it, even then, what is complete remains complete. Purnameva Vashishyate. Even if we take Purnasya Purnamadaya, even if we take a small portion out of something that is complete, Purnameva Vashishyate, it still remains complete because the world is complete. The universe is complete in its manifestation, in its beauty, in its Mahamaya. This was what Swamiji meant when he spoke about religious tolerance and acceptance. He said, I quote again, Christian brethren of America, you're so fond of sending out missionaries to save the world of heathens. Now, I don't know how many of you know what a heathen is. A heathen is a non believer, right? Um, Christians call non believers heathens. Um, Muslims call non believers kafirs. So, non believers meaning those who do not subscribe to their religion, to their faith. While Hinduism is saying everything is complete in itself, everything is beautiful in itself. And even if you take something, some little portion out of completeness, it will still remain complete, it will still remain beautiful. So look at the difference in the way that we view the world and the way Christianity and Islam views the world. That is what Swami Vivekananda brought forth through his lecture at the World Parliament of Religions. He said, Christian brethren of America, you're so fond of sending out missionaries to save the soul of heathens, of that of non believers. I ask you, what have you done and what are you doing to save their bodies from starvation? In India, there are millions living on less than 50 cents a month. Whenever there's a famine, hundreds of thousands die of starvation. Christian missionaries come and offer help, but only on the condition that Hindus become Christians, abandoning the faith of their forefathers and their fathers. Is this right? Such a beautiful, simple, direct question. Is it right? What have you done for the starving millions of people? You send missionaries. The missionaries come. They promise help. They promise relief. They promise life. They promise absolution from this horrible life of poverty only if you convert and become a Christian. When a Hindu converts, to become a Christian or or Muslim, the Hindu is actually leaving and abandoning the faith of his father and his forefathers, and that's a very very agonizing, kind of a separation. So Swami Vivekananda asks all these religious intellectuals. He says, "Is this right? Is this proselytizing and missionary conversion of Hindus to Christianity right in the name of providing them absolution or livelihood or life? It's not right. The crying evil of the East is not religion. We don't need your religion. We don't need it. Our religion is strong. Our faith is strong. We are strong. The crying evil of the East is not religion. We have more than enough religion. We know that, right? We have more than enough of religion. I mean, in Hinduism itself, there are so many different paths that you can follow, so many, all non prescribed. Buddhism, Jainism, we have so many, Sikhism, we have so many religions. What these people want, starving millions, is bread. They want something to eat, they want bread. It is an insult to a dying man or a man dying of poverty to be preached metaphysics. I mean, a man here is dying of poverty, not having food to eat, and here are these missionaries teaching him metaphysics and telling him, where his absolution lies in Jesus Christ, maybe, or Christianity, or whatever. He says, treat them kindly. Treat these people kindly. Even if a Hindu remains a Hindu, treat them with brotherhood and teach them how to earn the bread, how to earn a livelihood. But don't teach them this metaphysical nonsense. This is exactly what he said, and I close quotes. Vivekananda's thoughts caught the imagination of people of diverse societies and cultures because of the universality of his preaching and the exalted goals he set for man. Vivekananda was a true revolutionary, given the social and political environment of his time. He ignited the minds of millions and earned respect because of his humanism, compassion, egalitarianism, equity, rational thinking, and democratic values, but most importantly, his spiritual strength. The time has never been more opportune than now for India to realize its true potential by unleashing the energies of the youth who constitute more than 60% of our population. Skeptics and pessimists might still have doubts on whether India can break new ground and become one of the leading major economies of the world. The recent growth patterns show that there are a good many reasons to believe that we can overcome and to be optimistic. However, we have to recognize some impeding factors as well. Narrow prejudices of various isms, the various religions I spoke about, that come in the way of social harmony, prosperous, peaceful, inclusive, equitable India have to be buried, and foundations of a new India built. As famously said by the father of the nation, Gandhiji, India lives in her villages. Unless those living in the villages become part of the growth narrative of India, progress cannot be achieved. There is a good, urgent need to adopt a bottom up approach with a vision to transform villages into prosperous and self contained economic hubs. And I think that we are in the process, or this government is in the process of achieving that. In the recent past, public discourse is getting sidetracked by non issues rather than issues which have a bearing on the growth and development of the country. We need catalysts of positive change. We need voices of reason, voices of objectivity, voices of hope, voices of courage, and voices of calm. I would like to point out that the preaching and teachings of Swami Vivekananda are eternally relevant and show a beacon to the world. What Swami Vivekananda said at the World Parliament of Religions in 1893 in his epoch making address is as relevant today as it was then. Referring to the common ground of religious unity, he said, if anyone here hopes that this unity will come by triumph of any one religion and the destruction of another religion, to him I say, brother, yours is an impossible hope. What does that mean? You cannot achieve anything or achieve the superiority of your religion by destroying another religion. It's simply not possible. I've highlighted parts of Swami Vivekananda's speech at the World Parliament of Religions to drive home the message that religious tolerance is of paramount importance. That religious tolerance is of paramount importance for peaceful coexistence of people of all beliefs and faiths. Problems arise when ignorant, fanatical bigots try to impose their worldview on others and indulge in one upmanship. Irrespective of religion, this sort of behavior should be condemned and should not be tolerated. Continuous efforts are needed to bring down caste barriers by all stakeholders, especially the political parties. Caste, class, community differences or barriers must not be allowed to play any role in electoral politics, and people must elect their public representatives on the basis of character, caliber, capacity, and conduct. When you go to vote, remember, what do you see in your representative? Character, caliber, capacity, and conduct, not religion or caste or subcaste. Pointing out that caste was a social organization and not a religious one, Swami Vivekananda said that it was the outcome of the natural evolution of our society. It was found necessary and convenient at one time. At one time, it was. It has served its purpose and is no longer necessary, relevant, or convenient. He went on to add that Hindu religion no longer requires the prop of the caste system. I feel that no other country is as uniquely placed today to fast track development as India is. Swami Vivekananda had said, man making is my mission in life. I am not a politician, nor am I a social reformer. It is my job to fashion man. Unquote. This was, Vivekananda ji's statement. He had said, quote, open quote, man making is my mission of life. I'm not a politician, nor am I a social reformer. It's my job to fashion man. I care only for the spirit of man. When the spirit is right, everything will be right by itself. Close quote. He wanted education to provide life building. When he said life building, he meant, the making of a complete man. At that time, Sri Aurobindo was also interested in making a complete man, a man who was educated, cultured, refined, whose ideas, thoughts are optimistic, positive, whose values are to be emulated, and who is a what they called an ideal manava. So, in the shaping of the ideal manava, in the shaping of the ideal man, ideal woman, Swami Vivekananda and Sri Aurobindo concentrated their efforts, their intellectual, skills, and their ideations. Swami Vivekananda believed in the upliftment of humanity, irrespective of caste and creed, like I've said before, and emphasized the importance of spiritualism for the survival and progress of mankind. He said, worship God in all living beings through service. Worship God in all living beings through service. Please remember that. This emphasis on service to humanity as a step towards spiritual upliftment needs to be understood in our current national context. He was an enlightened spiritual preacher who brought Vedanta and yoga to the West while infusing a strong sense of patriotism among Indians during the colonial British rule. Through his historic speech at the Parliament of World Religions, he communicated the correct and accurate meaning of Hinduism and its way of life. He acted as a bridge between East and West and played a pivotal role in strengthening the spiritual foundation of mankind. I feel that his life and teachings have to be popularized so that the younger generation, all of you in particular, realize and assimilate the greatness of India's culture, its spiritual heritage, and its traditions in the context of growing materialism and the influence of Western concepts and lifestyles. The younger generation should emulate Swami Vivekananda's ideals. Swami Vivekananda was a great nation builder, and his teachings have become all the more relevant today in the wake of attempts by a number of Fissiparous forces that impede progress. There are fissures. What do these people do? They just create fissures. From time immemorial, Indians believed in the concept of Sarvadharma Sambhava and have played or prayed for peace and harmony of the entire universe. I've already told you about that. We have upheld the principle of peaceful coexistence. It is time for us to recall and revitalize the well springs of our rich civilization. Swami Vivekananda can provide a society with the eternal fountain of Ananda. What is Ananda? Happiness, eternal happiness, springing out of Viveka. Viveka is intellectual thought, intellectual, expansion, and the wisdom of the mind. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your kind words, your words of enlightenment. Ma'am, actually, we had a youth speech contest 2021 amongst the age group 16 to 26 years on the topic recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world in the morning. And we want you to stay back for a few minutes more to share your blessings on the winners. And to take the program further, I would like to invite Miss Pallavi. Over to you, ma'am.
Namaskar, ma'am. Uh, we'll directly go with the announcement of our winners for the Youth Speech Contest 2021. And we decided this topic in line with the UN's theme, that was recovering better for an equitable and sustainable world. And we'll go in the sequence like this, that first we'll announce the winner of the Youth Speech Contest, then the first runner-up, followed by the second runner-up. So the winner of this contest is Mr. Kansha Singh. I would like Akansha Singh to join with us. Mr. Kansha Singh has won the contest. Akansha, your video is not visible with us.
Ma'am, is it visible now?
No, not yet, Akansha. But I think that will be streaming fine, because sometimes there is a glitch. We are not able to see the individuals on our screens, but it is live on the different channels like Facebook and YouTube. So Akansha, we have with us our Padmashri Pratibha Prahlad to congratulate you and share her blessings, you being the winner. Ma'am, Akansha has also won a cash prize of 1100. She is also a research scholar in Tathagat Buddha chair, and she has worked with the Tathagat Buddha chair for around an year or so. So this is Akansha. And
Akansha, congratulations. I can't see you.
Sorry, ma'am, for this, but there is some glitch. And thank you so much, ma'am.
Congratulations and all the best.
the first runner-up is Miss Muskan. Miss Muskan, I would like you to switch on your camera. Muskan has won a cash prize of 500, and she would be certainly receiving it a little later. when she'll visit Tathagat Buddha chair soon in Meerut. And there is a very nice thing about Muskan ma'am, that she is in this young age, she's just doing her graduation, and in this young age she's associated with a lot of NGOs and contributing a lot already at this age, apart from studies.
Congratulations, Muskan. I mean,
Thank
be an
you so much.
inspiring leader. Be an inspiring leader and carry on working for humanity.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
And the second runner-up is Vaishali Sarkar. And Vaishali is again a research scholar of Delhi University. She's studying Buddhism there, and she has Vaishali, if you can switch on your video so that we can have we could have a this virtual picture. This is what we are doing in this scenario of COVID. So Vaishali is, along with her studies in Buddhism, is contributing into the society by the way of transmitting ideas into different countries. She has been visiting many different countries to spread her idea about humanity and Buddhism in the different paper presentations and all. So Vaishali, many congratulations.
Congratulations, Vaishali Sarkar. Thank you very much for your work. And we need youngsters like you.
So now we would like to sum up this very event of guest lecture and this award ceremony as well. We have already announced it. The Tathagat Buddha chair will contact these students later for the certificates and the cash prizes also. So I would like to just continue with the vote of thanks now. Honorable Sir, Ma'am, dear brothers and sisters in Dhamma, I feel extremely privileged to propose the vote of thanks for the guest lecture on the occasion of United Nations International Day of Peace 2021. And this lecture was decided on this very day of Swami Vivekananda's lecture in the World Parliament of Religions. And as ma'am was not feeling well that day, so we continued it today. And it was entitled as Religion, Not the Crying Need of India.
It was supposed to be yesterday. I was ready yesterday.
Yes, it was supposed to be yesterday, but
I was ready yesterday. I think you had a problem with your
no, ma'am. Actually, we contacted you earlier also for this on a week ago, and we got.
No, that was that particular day was a different lecture, but I think the anniversary of Swami Vivekananda.
This one we just yes, ma'am. For this one we are just contacted, and it is always so great that ma'am is always ready to share her thoughts with the youth, and a very inspiring role model for the women. And when ma'am is there to bless all the beautiful girls here who won this youth speech contest, ma'am, not even a single guy won. This is tragic. This is something where I would like to say that guys, buck up and come forward with your views, and we need more participations from you. And continuing with the word of thanks, I would also like to thank our Vice Chancellor, sir, Dr. VP Singh, sir, for motivating us to organize this guest lecture. I would also like to thank Dr. Shailya Raj, ma'am, the Chief Executive Officer, Swami Vivekananda Chair, Swami Vivekananda Subharati University. She has been constantly supporting us. We would like to thank Dr. Hirohito Advisors, Samrat Ashok Subharati School of Buddhist Studies, and the Tathagat Buddha Chair for guiding and supporting us. And once again, we render our heartfelt thanks to our eminent speaker, Padmashri Pratibha Prahlad. We are thankful to you, ma'am, for finding out time for us and giving us this wonderful lecture. We are also thankful to the organizing team, the IT team of Swami Vivekananda Subharati University for their hard work, which has made this event possible. We are thankful to all the participants who have joined us from different virtual platforms. Thank Thank you so much, everyone. Namo Buddhaya. Thank you so much, ma'am, once again.